Okay, so this is my end of day recap for Thursday. Um, Today was honestly a shit day for me, not because of PA, although PA was pretty shit, um, but because of the fact that I did not have power until like 11 a.m. New York time, because we had like a scheduled power outage um, from like 10 p.m. last night to it was going to be 6:30 my time, which would be 9:30 a.m. New York time, which would have been perfect. But it lasted until like 8 a.m. my time, which is 11 a.m. your time. So, which was pretty fucking annoying. So I knew that when coming into today, no matter what, I'm make the trade during 12 safely. So, let's get into it on the daily, determining the bias, right? What has price done prior to Friday? We obviously had some reversal higher, right? And YM has taken all-time highs. ES as well has taken all-time highs. And then we seen on Wednesday, price credit C2 reversal away from, which kind of makes sense, right? We're extremely bullish into a key level. We definitely undergo a new phase price. We have C2. But what I wanted to see is price reverse away from this gap to continue higher because NQ still has feather swings above price. So this is likely retracement. This gap is like the universal sequence on the daily should cap off the retracement and be used for continuation. But of course, price has to show that it wants to reverse away from this gap. It has to show reversal signatures and confirm that it wants to expand away from it, which we don't. But yeah, so today opens up, heads lower into the gap, right? We did have S&P fill up first, but I didn't even care to taper Asia, um, which maybe it could have been clean. Maybe to trade away from this S&P fill, trade back into this gap here maybe, and to target this high, which I didn't even check, but um, right. So we didn't have any string switch second stage S&T at the reversal, it seems here. So we have the demand displacement away and do that here. This is the far gap here. So maybe we get the universal sequence on the 30-minute. Looks like we don't have. We could get over the gap here. Or we could know the gap. We might create it on EOS. But we're not going to get that second stage PSP S&P fill. Let's wait, switch. We got an S&P fill. But I need to see. Yeah, we don't got it. So we don't got that second stage PSP S&P fill. Continuation PSP, right? Or the string switch second stage PSP to trade the leading asset universal, which would be technically ES or YM. I guess we both up, it depends. So we're closer to these eyes. So this is 1400. Yeah, ES is stronger. So we do have S&P fill, which I guess you can say confirms the universe sequence, but I did command, like I said, the second stage PSP has to be full or the string switch second stage PSP. So this is valid, but do we expand away from it? Not, so we just chop around. That follows. So yeah, no Asia trade. But going into 12, right? 6 a.m. decides to reverse away from this, and again, I didn't. We actually did create a string switch second stage PSP here on the flare. We had S&P fill here, you can see. We close bullishly once we turn this stronger. So we have the strength switch second stage as D at the reversal. 6 in mid-relation, 10 in continuation. And looking within the CTW that V-shape would do. 10 is opening up with an line swing, but we know the 10 is likely going to create a gap in the future based on the space here. So I have to wait for 1030. Which we just expand higher. So now at this point, I mean, maybe we create the second stage PSPS and full here, which we do. We don't want it, right? YM is just so decoupled, expanding lower, while ES and NQ are expanding higher. We do technically create that as second stage PSPS and full here. So this would be a valid universal sequence entry. Right here, some shot. Going into 10 lane. Maybe I took this, or maybe I would have taken this if I actually showed it to the market this one. The only thing I don't like about this though is obviously I'm gonna trade NQ because it's overall stronger. I'm not gonna trade YM because it's weakest. And I want to see bullishness. My bias is overall bullish. I want to see bullishness because of these relations, right? The overall bias in the daily is bullish. And I want to see price reverse away from this daily gap. But the daily doesn't support this day does not support the bull expansion. But it does open lower at first. HJ is high day, so it is valid to fade the daily candle. But the only thing I don't like is prices at the daily open. But we do still have current day high open and we're looking first with those highs, so I mean, it still is valid. It's just it's a bit lower probability because of that. And yeah, obviously NQ is strongest, right? When we create this oh, fuck. When we create this second stage PSPS and fill, NQ is overall stronger, closer to the current day high. So I do like how there's further swings leading to current day high though. Unestablished. But I mean, yeah, this could be valid. The daily is aligned because it supports the daily profile supports fading the daily candle. The 4 hours line going into 10 AM. We have that new 90-minute candle open as well, which is ideal because the 90 and 90-minute candle doesn't really support that bull expansion in a way. But that's not too bad. So that's great. And then the 1-minute line as well. It's all time frames are aligned with confirmation to the universal sequence. Sure about the 5 with them, see if we have a nice V shape away from it. But the RR is probably going to be ass. Create this. Create right here. 10 AM low. Yeah, no. That is not going to fucking. I'm not going to take that CSD, so we got to recreate one lower in the range. Yeah, right there, maybe. Okay, yeah, that RR is ass. I would never take that. Because even if you did take this here, stop at like EQ price, I would demand a retest. Price doesn't retest. Yeah, I would not take that. So now it's like, maybe I trade ES as the middle asset to catch up and break this SMT. But you know, like when we created this SMT down here, what are we doing? Right. Here. Price fell to V shape. Right, so when we create this SMT with current high, we know that this is a likely problem SMT because how did we get to this high? How did we create this SMT? Right, only NQ reverse higher. ES fell to V shape. YM still expanding lower, super decoupled. So if this is going to be filler SMT, I would want to see the lagging assets all. I want to see all of the assets V-shape away from this SMT, and this SMT pre-printed within OT, etc. Which it's not technically. It's around EQ, so it's likely probably SMT. We're probably going to hold that. And the logic on why it should hold it actually makes sense because um, the data doesn't support the bold expansion on NQ. So when we take current day high, we know that today it's going to have a hard time expanding beyond the daily open. So this SMT here with current day high is the perfect area to cap off the daily range. So the logic on why this SMT should hold and why we can head lower makes sense. And that's kind of what I wanted to see going into lunch. And so we just didn't have any string switch second SMT with this eye, with the reversal. And then we've seen ES displace away from the SMT and create SMT with the slow here. So now I'm looking to trade NQ as the lag and async continuation to break this SMT here. Simply. So now what do I want to see ES do? Failed to play this low, which, I mean, you can tell we were stuck in this consolidation. We manipulated range low when we created the SMT here at 10 a.m. or 9:30. Clearly failed to manipulate this low or away from the SMT, so what did price do? Continue lower after creating this SMT. So now I want to see price continue just to fail to manipulate these lows. While ideally, ideally we just consolidate, retrace on ES, YM, and NQ shows displacement lower. Because we don't have string switching at the reversal here. So I want us to displacement lower. And we just don't really, we do credit gap, which is a PSP. Right? So possibly we can get that second stage PSP as filled, but this is at 12. Right, perfect. But why did I not take this? It's because I was focused on the R2Y. R2Y is overall weaker than NQ. I was focused on both, honestly. I was like either or really, but whatever was the via entry. But no, this is focused in here. So possibly we get that, but I knew that we were creating an hourly gap on all assets at 12, and so going into 1 p.m. we might stall until, you know, it's really not ideal. Although this is a second stage PSPS default in the form of a string switch, so it is valid. Assume that we will fade this, but I just didn't like the R on R2I, so honestly it would have been valid to trade in Q, not gonna lie. But see if we get that. Or we get rid of it. So string switch, second stage PSP, SMD fill. Right. Which is a continuation PSP. This confirms as a sync. Now the daily, the 4 hours isn't aligned because the 4 hours at larger wick. The 6 hours lines faded. The 9 was aligned during 12. The 1:30 was aligned as long as we V-shape away from the switch push during 12:30. It's valid. I don't know why I didn't take this. I don't know why I forgot. I think I was just so heavily focused on R2Y. So maybe the V-shape was ass. I don't really remember this. But I think there was a CST. The CST was ass. Away from that. So, I think. Right, so technically this is the SMT here. It's neutral. And yeah, we decided to like not work away from right away, so maybe we do here. I don't know why I didn't care to. I don't remember taking or caring to try this. Maybe I did. I just, yeah, clearly not respecting it. Yeah, we didn't respect it. So then at that point, if we're not going to respect this 30-minute gap, it has to be that really gap. Create it going into 1 p.m. But and again, we don't have that string switch. But if we go over to RQI, we do have the string switch. We left this low. String switch. Split one. Let's go wait for that before. Tell me before I shut. Fuck. Not far. Oh, I must have been with the 30-minute. Um, yeah, here. This high was taken here. So definitely do have the string switch. And create switch like that. Technically we held it. Create string switch second stage like this. So this was valid. And I was eyeing this and I wanted to take it. I'm not gonna lie, going into 1 p.m. I did close my charts because I was feeling so fucking weird. I started this day so weirdly, and then I was just feeling so like brain fogged the fuck out where I don't know, I was just feeling so impatient. So I was like, fuck this, I'm not tapering. So I closed the charts and then I reopened it. The price was falling this year. And seeing that we V-shaped away from it cleanly, I was gonna take it, but kind of hesitated. I was like, maybe I shouldn't because I was just feeling so weird. Doesn't really matter because it doesn't really work out anyways. So, say going into 1300, I thought we had that string switch via falling out really though, not really. Not really clean, but we hold the SMD, create that, and we V-shape away from it cleanly here. So it's the string switch like this. So I was technically taking, say there, here, right, that string switch going to 1 p.m. here. And right, it was shit was so annoying, I swear to God. So create that, hold that string switch, SMD fall in the 30-minute, then we create this string switch and then V-shape away cleanly. So this is so well. Hold that string switch on the 30-minute. Nice V-shape. I seen this right when it formed. I was like, ah, fuck. I was hesitating. I don't know if I should take it. I wanted off the CSD, and I was gonna have to put my stop here to manipulate the RR. And honestly, ideally, I demand an entry slightly up here. Okay, that'd been better, but price does provide an entry off the CSD. Stop it at the B right there. It's like the R is ass, but once price reaches this low, I can go break even. It does. Reaches it here, and pretty much we reach it. Yeah, we open up, reach it. Okay, I can go break even, and then price comes back, so back up, and it takes me out of break even right away. So 2R wouldn't have been reached anyway, so it doesn't matter. And I was also thinking about maybe I should wait for 2 p.m. because 10 a.m. doesn't support that bear expansion, and we're way below the 10 a.m. open. So, but I mean, we're so close to slow. It's probably gonna take it. So, yeah, I didn't take it. It was just super unclean, super unclean day. I really wanted bullishness, anyways. Taking this fading or not taking this as well, and although I thought it was pretty clean. But yeah, that's really all there was today. Like I said, maybe trading in Q here right when we close at 9:30. Great. And create that string switch second stage PSP on the 4-hour. Great. Now we can trade the reversal every time frames align, but besides the daily, I would say for current eyes and we draw liquidity anyway, so doesn't the video was always gonna fade it. But we know that we can't long 10 earlier because the fucking daily or 10 was getting pretty gap, so I can't trade that really. Gotta wait for that gap to form. Yeah, we do provide a second stage PSP fill here. No valid entry, so this could have been clean going to Titanium, but it wasn't a valid entry, pretty unclean. And then once we take current to high, it makes sense that we're slower because of the daily profile delayed, or not the daily profile, but the wick size. And we displace lower. But we did form strange push second stage empty here at first, right? Didn't respect it. And then R2Y provided something going into the 1 p.m. here, but not really just not really clean, honestly. Could have been valid though, but yeah. So anyways.